Good evening, you're watching Independent News. I'm Adam Dawla on behalf of Independent Television. Eid Mubarak on the second day of Eid ul-Azha. Before we go into the news now, let me give you a couple of the headlines. Muslims sacrifice animals on the second day of Eid ul-Azha. Meanwhile, the Rawhide market suffers from a sluggish supply triggered by low prices. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina vows exemplary punishment for the perpetrators of the much talked about Ramu violence. And opposition chief Khaleda Zia arrives in India on a week-long tour. The BNP says the visit aims to resolve disputed issues with India. Many devotees failed to sacrifice animals on Eid Day because of the shortage of butchers. In addition, many of the devotees prefer to sacrifice their animals on the second day of Eid. The reason for this is that there is often a shortage of butchers on Eid Day owing to the huge demand. Many devotees at Gaptali, Mirpur, Kafrul and in other areas of the capital complained today that this year, after sacrificing the animals, they had to cut the meat themselves because they failed to contact the butchers, despite repeated attempts. Traders at the Gaptali capital market were seen selling animals on the second day of Eid al-Azha today. A significant number of customers were seen thronging the markets to purchase their sacrificial animals. While the number of buyers was low on Saturday, the scenario was different at the market today. The Cattle Market Authority said that the selling of animals will continue for a few more days. Traders today said that the prices of animals were comparatively higher than in the previous 2 days. The majority of the cattle traders had to incur losses this year as the prices were astonishingly low this Eid. The officials of the Dhaka City Corporations claim that they claim to have cleaned out sacrificial animal waste from the city within a day after Eid. They say some 13,000 people of the two city corporations started the cleaning drive from 10 a.m. yesterday. Earlier, the City Corporations Authority had announced that they would clear up the waste within 48 hours of Eid. However, a number of animals were sacrificed on the second day of Eid today. The city corporations say their people have been working since morning to clean up the waste. They have also asked the public to inform the City Corporation control room if dumped animal waste is found anywhere in the city. In related news, the Rawhide Rawhide market in the capital wears a dismal look even though an additional number of animals were sacrificed during the Eid. The price for each piece of cowhide has fallen by about 500 taka. Traders blame sluggish demand from the international market for the fall in prices.
Eid ul-Azha is usually the busiest time for rawhide traders. The traders run from place to place to collect the hides of sacrificed animals. According to the Livestock Department, about 48% of the country's total demand is collected during Eid ul-Azha. This year, the number of sacrificed animals is 15% higher than that of the last year. Traders, however, say that the supply of rawhides has decreased surprisingly this year.
The hide supply was supposed to double this year, but it has dropped to almost half. I cannot understand this at all. What I fear is that the rawhides have either been smuggled to India or fallen into the hands of the tannery owners syndicate.
The price of cow hides has dropped by around 500 taka a piece, while that of goat hides by 100 to 120 taka. An unexpectedly low demand in the international market is blamed for this fall in prices.
The price of cowhide has fallen by 400 to 500 taka because of the low demand in the international market. 95% of the hides are exported, so the price is determined by their demand. If the demand were high, the price of cowhide would go much higher.
Data from the Export Promotion Bureau show that the earning from exporting hides in the first 2 months of the current fiscal year is $51.7 million, while it was $11.5 million higher in the same period of the last fiscal.
Moving on to other news, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina says that a probe is being carried out to unearth the motive behind the attacks on Buddhist temples in Ramu. She added that the perpetrators will be identified and they will be given exemplary punishment.
After meeting a delegation of Buddhist community at the Ganobhavan on the occasion of Provaruna Purnima, the Premier made the comment today. The delegation thanked the Premier for the meet held on the occasion of Provaruna Purnima. Speakers at the program discussed the Ramu incident. They also thanked the government for its timely attempts to safeguard Buddhist lives and establishments. At the meet, Industries Minister Dilip Barua criticized opposition chief Khaleda Zia's China and India tour and asked why she hasn't visited Ramu since the violence.
Khaleda Zia could not go to Ramu because the members of 18-party alliance were behind the violence in Ramu.
Later, Sheikh Hasina said that the incident not only affected the Buddhist community, rather it stained the history of humanity and the 1,000-year-old Bengali tradition and culture.
The stones they used during the violence were man-made concrete stones. There were 3 riders on each motorbike. Where did they come from? They came and torched several establishments with gunpowder. Who are they and why did they do this?
The Premier urged the people to remain alert against fraud and against those who try to shape their destiny.
Maybe a spirit of awareness evolves through the distraction. We have to move forward unitedly with non-communal spirit and brotherhood.
Sheikh Hasina also called upon all to work together rather than give in to a communal spirit.
That was the Prime Minister's point of view on the Ramu violence. Now, BNP chairperson Khaleda Zia has arrived in New Delhi on a 7-day visit. A Jet Airways flight carrying Khaleda, who is also the opposition leader in Parliament, left Dhaka around 9 in the morning. BNP Acting Secretary General Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir, who saw her off at the airport, hopes that the visit will help resolve prevailing disputes between the two neighbouring states. Khaleda Zia is expected to meet Indian President Pranab Mukherjee today. She will hold talks with Indian Prime Minister Manmohan Singh on Monday. The BNP chief is also likely to meet Congress President Sonia Gandhi, Leader of the Opposition in Lok Sabha Sushma Swaraj, Foreign Secretary Ranjan Mathai and National Security Advisor Shiv Shankar Menon. Khaleda Zia last visited India in 2006 as the then Prime Minister.
We have a number of issues with India that needs to be resolved immediately. As a step towards resolving these issues, our leader is making this tour to India. She will hold talks with Indian leaders. The visit will strengthen the friendly relations we have with India.
33 private universities in the country have failed to meet the condition of setting up campuses of their own within 5 years of opening. The University Grants Commission has said that if these universities fail to establish their own campuses within the next 2 years, student admission into these universities will be stopped. Here's a report on that.
Many private universities are operating in rented spaces. Some have rented a whole building, while others only a few floors. A number of such universities can be found in Banani, Uttara and Dhanmondi. Students in these universities attend classes in cramped spaces. Without a proper university campus, they spend time with other students on the streets.
We are spending time here and blocking the street. If we had our own campus, we could have stayed there.
It's very congested. Around 8,000 students attend classes.
We don't get the feel of a university campus. Our buildings and departments are separate and are far apart. We can't organize properly.
The number of approved private universities now stands at 60. Of these, 49 have already been operating for 5 years or more. Only 16 of them have their own campuses. The remaining 33 continue to operate in rented spaces.
The law gives us a 5-year period. There is nothing wrong with the law. But the 16 universities that have moved did so after 10 to 12 years of operation. Keeping 1 year at hand, I am hopeful that we will move to our own campus by the end of 2013.
The University Grants Commission said that 26 universities have purchased 1 acre or more of land to establish university campuses. Darul Ihsan, Atish Dipankar, Prime, Presidency, Victoria, Bangladesh Islamic, Royal and World Universities have not submitted information on land purchase. The University Grants Commission chairman said that action is being taken against these universities.
There was no strict law to regulate this. The Private University Act 2010 gave us the instrument. We are trying to improve the situation. 16 universities have moved to their own campuses. Others are acquiring land and building structures.
The commission chairman said that a committee is working to observe the overall situation of private universities.
We'll take a short break now, but don't go away. There's more coming up. Let me give you a couple of the headlines after the break. Bangladeshis in Kuwait seek a proper environment for investment in Bangladesh. They say political unrest and a lack of infrastructure are major hurdles in this country. And in sports, Bangladesh defeats Sri Lanka by 5 runs to reach the semi-finals of Women's T20 Asia Cup. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching Independent News. 17 days after the devastating storm that lashed the coastal district on the 10th of October, fishermen in Noakhali have not received any financial aid from the government. Many of the fishermen lost their boats and fishing nets in the storm and are now living idle without any means of livelihood. More in this report.
A devastating storm struck 3 upazilas of Noakhali district, Hatia, Subornochor and Companyganj on the 10th of October. Apart from the loss of lives, around 500 fishermen lost their boats and nets in the storm. Now they cannot go fishing in the rivers despite being in the peak season of hilsa fish. Fishermen alleged that they have received no financial aid from the government as yet.
We have lost our boats and nets. I have no means to earn money for food.
4 of us are sick and 1 still remains missing. We haven't got yet a single penny as aid from the government.
Local public representatives stress the need for providing immediate financial support to the fishermen before they face a humanitarian crisis.
Hundreds of families will be in great trouble if these fishermen are not given boats and nets immediately.
However, the district fisheries department said that they have already sent a list of fishermen affected by the storm to the higher authorities.
We sent a list of affected fishermen to the higher authorities. If the government provides money, we will try to rehabilitate them.
The fishermen who lost everything in the sudden storm now await government assistance for survival.
The 41st death anniversary of Bir Shrestha Hamidur Rahman has been observed at the memorial complex built in honor of the great hero. The title Bir Shrestha is the highest honor conferred by the Bangladesh government on those who sacrificed their lives during the Liberation War in 1971. Hamidur Rahman was serving in the then East Bengal Regiment in 1971 when he joined the Liberation War. On this day in 1971, he embraced martyrdom while fighting the Pakistani occupation forces at the Dhali frontier in Moldia Bazar. Hamidur Rahman was born in 1945 at Khurda Khalishpur village in Moheshpur Wazila of Chennai. In other news, Bangladeshis living in Kuwait say that a proper environment for investment is yet to be created in Bangladesh. They say that political unrest, shortage of fuel, infrastructure and a lack of security are major hurdles. Here's a report on that.
The Kuwaiti people are known worldwide as good businessmen. They have made large investments in our neighboring India. Some of them have become engaged in joint ventures with Bangladeshis living in Kuwait. Abul Qasim is a Bangladeshi who lives and does business in Kuwait. Having done business in Kuwait for 30 years, he now builds mobile phone towers. He says he never felt any security risk during this period. Abul Qasim, who is also the vice president of the Kuwait Awami League, says he is not ready to invest in Bangladesh.
I don't want to invest in Bangladesh due to frequent political unrest, power outage and gas shortage. The Kuwaitis want to invest in Bangladesh, but after they see all these negative media reports, they feel insecure and refrain from investing.
Jahangir Hossain Patwari is another influential Bangladeshi businessman in Kuwait. He owns a petrochemical factory in Bahrain. Jahangir and his Kuwaiti partners want to set up a plant in Bangladesh.
We still don't feel that if we start a business in Bangladesh, we will get adequate security from the government, be it business security or personal security. When we feel the security is good, we will move to Bangladesh.
During the last 4 years of the Grand Alliance government, a number of high officials, including the President, the Prime Minister and the Foreign Minister of Bangladesh, visited Kuwait. But no notable success has been observed so far.
And with that, we'll move on to international news, starting with our neighbours in India. Indian Premier Manmohan Singh brought 7 new faces into his cabinet Sunday in the biggest reshuffle since his re-election, as he tried to revive his party's flagging fortunes before the polls due in 2014. Singh named Salman Khurshid as Foreign Minister. The Law Ministry went to Ashwani Kumar, a ruling Congress Party loyalist. The other newcomers include Rahman Khan, who was named as Minority Affairs Minister, Ajay Malkan, who becomes Housing Minister, and Dinsha Patel, who is now the Minister responsible for Mines. They will be joined by Pallam Raju, who was promoted to Human Resources Development Minister. Harish Rawat was placed in charge of Water Resources, and Chandresh Kumari was appointed Culture Minister. Singh named Parliamentary Affairs Minister Parwan Kumar Banshal as the new Railways Minister. Hurricane Sandy raged up the coast after leaving more than 40 people dead in the Caribbean. A state of emergency has been declared in Virginia, Maryland, and the District of Columbia, Pennsylvania, New York, Maine, New Jersey, and Connecticut, of course, in the United States. By Saturday afternoon, officials in Haiti said the storm was responsible for 29 deaths as Sandy blew through the Bahamas and traveled north over the Atlantic Ocean. While Sandy's speed had declined to 75 miles per hour, meteorologists say it would pick up force as it merges with a jet stream and a northeaster. Jumping on to sports now, the Bangladesh women's cricket team beat Sri Lanka women by 5 runs in their last group match of the Women's T20 Asia Cup in China today. Batting first, Bangladesh women managed to amass only 62 runs in 18 overs at Guangdong International Cricket Stadium. Lankan bowlers S.K. Dalawetta and I. Ranawira took 3 wickets each. Chasing down the meagre target, the Lankan women were bundled out for 57 runs in 19.4 overs. Bangladeshi bowler Salma Khatun grabbed 4 wickets, while Janara Alam took 3 wickets. With today's win, the Tigresses will now play Group A runners-up Pakistan in the second semi-final on Tuesday. Here's an important hint before we end this news bulletin. You can go get more news and updates from independent television through your mobile phones. For breaking news, go to your mobile message option, type start space B and send to 16232. For daily news updates, type start space DN for daily news reports and send to 16232. You can also call 16232 from any operator to listen to the latest headlines in Bangla. And that's it for this evening. We'll be back at 8 o'clock tomorrow. Hope you'll be with us then. Thank you for watching us tonight. And, of course,